Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling something that's honestly a fascinating engineering trap. We're going to look at exactly why real-world 48-volt office solar setups constantly fail, and more importantly, how to engineer them correctly right from the ground up. You might think powering an off-grid workspace is as easy as grabbing a massive 5 kilowatt inverter, hooking up a bunch of batteries, and just calling it a day. But in office, it's a completely different beast. The hidden continuous energy demands of a workspace require a totally different approach to system design. Right off the bat, let's look at this core warning, because this is the ultimate trap for off-grid offices. If you size an office system like a home system, it will fail quietly, not loudly. Think about a home setup for a second. In a house, failures are super dramatic, right? You turn on the microwave and the well pump at the exact same time, the inverter practically screams at you, and the breaker instantly trips. That's a classic peak power failure. But an office system, it doesn't do that at all. It just hums along perfectly for hours, giving you this totally false sense of security until, boom, everything just goes dark. And honestly, it is the ultimate midday nightmare. Picture this. You're deep into a crucial workday, maybe juggling 3 unsaved spreadsheets. Your system didn't trip at startup, and you are literally only using a fraction of your 5,000 watts. Yet, it quietly shuts down right at, say, 2 p.m. So, why does that happen? To solve this mystery, we really have to completely rethink everything we know about how solar equipment handles stress over time, rather than just focusing on how it handles an initial sudden surge of power. Let's compare standard solar advice with the actual engineering reality. A lot of standard advice tells you to basically just sum up your appliance wattage, figure out your absolute peak, and buy an inverter to match that number. It's a very inverter-first mindset. But the true engineering reality? It demands a totally different priority. System stability actually comes from focusing on the continuous load and the thermal endurance of your components. It's not about the 100-meter sprint. It is entirely about surviving the marathon. To put that into perspective, let's break down a typical 4-desk office. We've got laptops and monitors acting as a steady load, and then routers or network switches acting as a constant 24/7 load. This is totally unlike your kitchen refrigerator that cycles on and off all day, which, by the way, gives your batteries and inverter a crucial chance to actually physically cool down. Office equipment is absolutely relentless. It literally never stops demanding power. So that seemingly harmless low wattage equipment, it actually translates to 8 to 12 continuous hours of runtime. And let me tell you, that duration is the silent killer here. The massive mistake most people make is assuming a low wattage load automatically equals a low-stress system. But in professional off-grid solar design, the sheer duration of the load is vastly more punishing than any temporary peak spike could ever be. A 5-kilowatt inverter isn't actually stressed by just turning your monitors on. Instead, it's limited by its thermal endurance against some very specific, continuous stressors. When you pull power for 10 hours straight, you're generating constant heat. You're testing the absolute limits of your battery's discharge curve, and critically, you're creating massive heat buildup in your DC cables at that high 48-volt current. Your system's true limit isn't the wattage rating stamped on the box, it's its ability to shed heat over a long, grueling workday. Okay, don't let the math scare you, but this equation right here catches absolutely everyone off guard. To find the real punishing DC current, that's the IDC part, you take your total power in watts and divide it by your 48-volt system voltage multiplied by your inverter's efficiency. Since inverters are usually only about 85 to 95% efficient, that remaining missing percentage, it turns into pure radiant heat. This math proves that as the day drags on, the current being pulled from your batteries is intense and honestly pretty unforgiving. And where exactly does all that current go? Well, it flows relentlessly through your battery terminals, right across your fuse blocks, and straight through your inverter input cables. This continuous heat accumulation on the DC side is precisely where most overpowering 5-kilowatt systems just quietly melt down in the real world. The inverter itself isn't overwhelmed by the watts. Rather, the wiring is overwhelmed by the uninterrupted friction of continuous DC current. Which brings us to a major symptom you've probably experienced, or at least heard about. Why on earth does your battery management system unexpectedly cut off when you seemingly have plenty of charge left? You look at your screen, it clearly says you have 30% left, but suddenly, bam, everything goes black. If the inverter isn't overheating, what exactly is happening inside that battery bank to cause such a sudden, quiet failure? Well, here's the deal. Because office electronics never cycle off, they slowly drag your batteries into deep, dangerous discharge zones. Unlike a sudden heavy load that briefly dips the voltage and bounces back, a continuous draw causes this slow, grinding decline. Under constant stress, your actual usable capacity shrinks drastically compared to whatever rating is printed on the box. This forces the BMS to basically panic and cut power way before you expected it to be empty. And this brilliantly illustrates why we have to calculate our needs using the total bucket of energy required for the day in watt-hours. To get your required amp-hours, you take your daily watt-hours and divide by your voltage times your safe depth of discharge. Actually, for a standard lithium iron phosphate battery, you're looking at a depth of discharge of about 80% or 0.8. The takeaway? You absolutely have to design for the entire bucket of energy needed for the day, not just the momentary size of the hose pouring it out.
So, how do we build a bulletproof design and avoid all this? By following a strict, non-negotiable 6-step flow. First step, calculate your total continuous watts. Second, figure out your daily watt-hours. Third, size the battery bank for that specific daily energy. Now notice step 4, only now do you choose your inverter. Fifth, size your cables for that constant DC current we talked about. And finally, step 6, coordinate your fuses.
I seriously cannot emphasize this enough. You absolutely must follow this specific order. Reversing these steps is a guaranteed path to hidden failure. If you go out and buy a massive 5 kilowatt inverter first, and then try to build backwards to your batteries and cables without doing the continuous math, your system is going to be fundamentally unstable. It might look super impressive mounted on the wall, for sure, but it will not survive a real workday. We have to talk about the real-world stakes here, because we aren't just talking about your computer unexpectedly turning off during a Zoom meeting. Sustained high DC currents can literally melt undersized cables. A poor wire crimp, that becomes a severe fire hazard when current flows through it for 10 hours straight. Loose terminals create incredibly dangerous heat arcs. And if an inverter runs near its max capacity constantly, it'll silently throttle its output just to keep from burning itself up. Once you realize that an office is a continuous energy problem, your entire mindset shifts from reactive sizing to rigorous engineering. Make this your new golden rule. Never size a system just so it turns on. I mean, anyone can do that. The true test of a well-engineered off-grid office is whether it runs safely, smoothly, and completely without thermal throttling for 10 solid hours in the heat of the day.
Now, quick aside, electrical work is highly dangerous, so please always consult a qualified professional before tearing into your setup. But I do want to leave you with a challenge as you evaluate your own workspace. Take a really hard look at your load, your cables, and your battery capacity. Are you truly built for the marathon, or are you just waiting for your system to quietly fail at hour 6? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep engineering smart.